everybody. Hey, it's Saturday, a day that I don't normally do this, and I don't know that this will be very long. Plus, I've got a weird kind of thing going on my screen, so I don't know what what that's all about. But anyway, good morning. Welcome to the special edition of Saturday Night Live. Yes, with P Dog Night, me. I I don't I saw that John Lewis passed away either last night or this morning. Must have been last night. And so I thought I'd come and just read a couple articles about John Lewis. And then beyond that, see where this goes. I'll probably open up a line. We'll do open lines Saturday. Take some guests on the show. Just, whoever wants to pop in, you'll be able to pop in. I'll put a link in the chat eventually. But until then, let's. I have a different intro for this Saturday Night Live, and this is it. It's short and sweet. And of course, as soon as I start the show, I get a phone call from my wife, and I need to answer it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put you on the be right back mode. Just a moment. I'm back. Just sometimes things are unplanned, and then you get something else that's unplanned, and then you have a plan. I have my reparations coffee ready because of the unplanned. Anyway, as I was saying, I just thought I'd do a quick couple articles about John Lewis, and if I don't know if I'm gonna have to call it or not. We have some plans to do things that I wasn't expecting, but I wanted to I really did want to talk about John Lewis today because he is a civil rights icon, and I didn't share politics with John Lewis, but there is no doubt that he is a very important part of our history as a nation, as a person who, who went through the civil rights movement, took some damage in that time. I mean, it was crazy that this is something that happened. Well, I think I can't remember. A lot of stuff happened during my lifetime, even though I was just a young child. But anyway, so the screen cap from Twitter today, Congressman and civil rights legend John Lewis has died at age 80. The long-serving Georgia congressman died on Friday, according to House Speaker Nancy Pelosi and multiple media reports. Lewis, who was a giant of the civil rights movement and often referred to as the conscience of Congress, was diagnosed with pancreatic cancer in December 2019. ABC News story. Let's go through the ABC News story. As soon as it pops up on my very slow, uncooperative computer. Sorry about that. John Lewis, a lion of the civil rights movement whose bloody beating by Alabama state troopers in 1965 helped galvanize opposition to racial segregation, and went on to a long and celebrated career in Congress, has died. He was 80. House Speaker Nancy Pelosi confirmed Lewis's passing late Friday night, calling him one of the greatest heroes of American history. All of us were humbled to call Congressman Lewis a colleague and are heartbroken by his passing, Pelosi said. May his memory be an inspiration that moves us all to, in the face of injustice, make good trouble necessary trouble. The condolences for Lewis were bipartisan. Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell said Lewis was a pioneering civil rights leader who put his life on the line to fight racism, promote civil equal rights, and bring our nation into greater alignment with its founding principles. Lewis's announcement in late December 2019 that he had been diagnosed with advanced pancreatic cancer. I have never faced a fight quite like the one I have now, he said, inspired both tributes from both sides of the aisle and an unstated accord that the likely passing of this Atlanta Democrat would represent the end of an era. The announcement of his death came just hours after the passing of Reverend C.T. Vivian, another civil rights leader who died earlier Friday at the age of 95. Lewis was the youngest and last survivor of the Big Six civil rights activists, a group led by the Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. that had the greatest impact on the movement. He was best known for leading some 600 protesters in the Bloody Sunday March across the Edmund Pettus Bridge in Selma. At age 25, walking at the head of the march with his hands tucked in the pockets of his tan overcoat, Lewis was knocked to the ground and beaten by police. His skull was fractured, and nationally televised images of the brutality forced the country's attention on racial oppression in the South. Within days, King led more marches in the state, and President Lyndon Johnson soon was pressing Congress to pass the Voting Rights Act. The bill became law later that year. The bill became law later that year, removing barriers that had barred blacks from voting. He loved this country so much that he risked his life and its blood so that it might live up to its promise, President Barack Obama said after Lewis's death. Early on, he embraced the principles of nonviolent resistance and civil disobedience as a means to bring about real change in this country. Lewis joined King and four other civil rights leaders in organizing the 1963 March on Washington. He spoke to the vast crowd just before King delivered his epical I Have a Dream speech. The 23-year-old firebrand, Lewis toned down his intended remarks at the insistence of others, dropping a reference to a scorched earth march through the South and scaling back criticisms of President John Kennedy. It was a potent speech nonetheless, in which he vowed, by the forces of our demands, our determination, and our numbers, we shall splinter the segregated South into 1,000 pieces and put them together in the image of God and democracy. It was almost immediately and forever overshadowed by the words of King, the man who had inspired him to activism. Lewis was born on February 21st, 1940, outside the town of Troy in Pike County, Alabama. He grew up on his family farm and attended segregated public schools. As a boy, he wanted to be a minister and practice his oratory on the family chickens. Denied a library card because of the color of his skin, he became an avid reader and would cite obscure historical dates and details even in his later years. He was a teenager when he first heard King preaching on the radio. They met when Lewis was seeking support to become the first black student at Alabama's segregated Troy State University. He ultimately attended the American Baptist Theological Seminary and Fisk University in Nashville, Tennessee. Just as a side, that's where my mother went to school. He began organizing sit-in demonstrations at whites-only lunch counters and volunteering as a freedom rider, enduring beatings and arrests while traveling around the South to challenge segregation. Lewis helped found the Student Nonviolent Coordinating Committee and was named its chairman in 1963, making one of the Big Six at a tender age. The others, in addition to King, were Whitney Young of the National Urban League, A. Philip Randolph of the Negro American Labor Council, James L. Farmer Jr. of the Congress of Racial Equality, and Roy Wilkins of the NAACP. All six met at the Roosevelt Hotel in New York to plan and announce the March on Washington. Roy Wilkins just happens to be from here in Minnesota. The huge demonstration galvanized the movement, but success didn't come quickly. After extensive training in nonviolent protests, Lewis and the Reverend Hosea Williams led demonstrators on a planned march of more than 50 miles from Selma to Montgomery, Alabama's capital, on March 7, 1965. A phalanx of police blocked their exit from the Selma Bridge. Authorities shoved and swung their truncheons, fired tear gas, and charged on horseback, sending many to the hospital and horrifying much of the nation. King returned with thousands, completing the march to Montgomery before the end of the month. Lewis turned to politics in 1981 when he was elected to the Atlanta City Council. He won a seat in Congress in 1986 and spent much of his career in the minority. That's interesting. In 86, they were the majority until 92, 96, 94. Anyway, it's about split in half. Anyway, he won a seat in Congress in 1986 and spent much of his career in the minority. After Democrats won control of the House in 2006, Lewis became his party's senior deputy whip and behind-the-scenes leadership post in which he helped keep the party unified. In an early setback for Barack Obama's 2008 Democratic primary campaign, Lewis endorsed Hillary Rodham Clinton for the nomination. Lewis switched when it became clear Obama had overwhelming black support. Obama later honored Lewis with the Presidential Medal of Freedom, and they marched hand in hand in the Selma on the 50th anniversary of the Bloody Sunday attack. President Bill Clinton and former Secretary of State Hillary Clinton on Friday praised Lewis as a giant who became the conscience of a nation. Lewis also worked for 15 years to gain approval for the Smithsonian National Museum of African American History and Culture. Humble and unfailingly friendly, Lewis was revered on Capitol Hill, but as one of the most liberal members of Congress, he often lost policy battles from his efforts to stop the Iraq War to his defense of young immigrants. Okay, I'm just going to let it go. He met bipartisan success in Congress in 2006 when he led efforts to renew the Voting Rights Act, but the Supreme Court later invalidated much of the law, and it became once again what it was in his youth, a work in progress. Later, when the presidency of Donald Trump challenged his civil rights legacy, they just couldn't resist, could they? They couldn't resist. Anyway, Lewis made no effort to hide his pain. One of the most recent pictures of Lewis, taken at the Black Lives Matter mural in Washington, D.C., is here. He got from Mayor Muriel Browser. We've walked on this path before, and we will continue marching on, hand in hand, elevating our voices until justice and peace prevail. Thank you for joining me at Black Lives Matter Plaza in front of the White House. Lewis refused to attend Trump's inauguration, saying he didn't consider him a legitimate president because Russians had conspired to get him elected. Well, that turned out to be incorrect. Whatever. When Trump later complained about immigrants from shithole countries, Lewis declared, "I think he is a racist. We have to try to stand up and speak up and not try to sweep it under the rug." Again, whatever. That let's just say there was a disagreement there. Lewis said he'd been arrested 40 times in the 1960s, 5 more times as a congressman. At 78, he told a rally he'd do it again to help reunite immigrant families separated by the Trump administration. There cannot be any peace in America until these young children are returned to their parents and set all of our people free, Lewis said in June, recalling the good trouble he got into protesting segregation as a young man. If we fail to do it, history will not be kind to us, he shouted. I will go to the border. I'll get arrested again if necessary. I'm prepared to go to jail. In a speech the day of the House impeachment vote of Trump, Lewis explained the importance of that vote. When you see something that's not right, not just, not fair, you have a moral obligation to say something, to do something. Our children and their children will ask us, what did you do? What did you say? While the vote would be hard for some, he said, we have a mission and a mandate to be on the right side of history. Lewis's wife of 4 decades, Lily Miles, died in 2012. They have one son, John Miles Lewis. So, the political stuff aside, like I said, I didn't agree with Representative Lewis on many things political, but there's no doubt that he was and is, and many will say it, an icon of the civil rights movement. Very important man in history, and rest in peace, John Lewis. All right. Real quick, just thought like I said, this is an impromptu stream. I saw a couple things on Twitter that I was looking at and thought, you know what the hell? Let's go online. But this is going to be short and sweet today because I have things to do. We're trying to sell a condo. I have to go put in a hardwired, what is it called? Hardwired smoke detector. I've never done that before. So we'll get some experience on doing something. I haven't said good morning to everybody yet either. We'll do this real quick. Good morning, Reese Donald, who gets the bell because you popped in the chat first. Welcome. Good morning, Midday Sin, Gunfox61, Kiever Dam, Mike Savage, Avocados Diabolis, Scribe Light, Goat Thrapple, Gaber Valine, Hey Larry, good morning, Johnny Hillcat, Keenan, Straight Sith Male, Amy in Connecticut, Rolling Bear, what's happening? And let's see, Becca Fairley, BG, Black Hebrew Israelite, and Tyler F. Did I already say hi to Tyler? Were you here earlier? No, you just walked in. Okay. And also everyone who just happens to be in the background lurking. Good morning. That always cracks me up. On this Monday, FTT John Lewis. No, I'm not gonna FTG John Lewis. I'm just gonna let it go. Rest in peace, John Lewis. Good morning, Kyra Alexander. Also, so I just wanted to see what was happening in the world. We're just gonna go through a quick Twitter trends to see if anything's going on. And on the Explore tab on Twitter today, obviously, John Lewis takes front and center, as we saw already. There's a few other things going on. So we're just going to go into the trending thing here. Now, of course, John Lewis is trending number 1. And in fact, he's most of the trends today. Trending 1, trending 2. We just read those stories. Now, one reason I do want to click, no, not this. I want to click the rest in peace, John Lewis. Actually, no, there's a different one. There's a bunch of them here. I'm not going to click that right now. But rest in peace, John Lewis, trending number 2. Saturday morning, Catterday, don't care. John Lewis, rest in power, John Lewis. And then I want to see some PANDAS. I don't know. I saw this and I'm thinking, what the bloody hell is this? And, I should probably, wait a minute, hold on. Oh, phew. I don't know, but fun fact, pandas are really stupid. And then I thought, I clicked that without thinking, because you never know what's going to show up there. You might have some furry person throwing, I don't know. I don't even know what this means. I got excited for this trend that it's all something about Minecraft. Yes, it's a Minecraft hashtag. Anyway, so we're going to skip out of there and make sure that I don't see anything I don't really want to put on YouTube. I don't know who Jason Miller is, but let's find out. Jason Miller, the race is either a tie or a toss-up, no matter how you look at it. Trump 2020 campaign senior advisor Jason Miller says to Schmernish, whoever that, despite the steady decline of the president's national poll numbers. So apparently, I don't know. This is, let's see, what's this say? I'm not going to watch 40 minutes of this, but I think people are probably trashing Jason, whatever his name is, Jason Miller, for even suggesting that Trump has a chance this election. You know, here's my thought. Here is my thought. Jason Miller's probably right. Okay, if you look at what's going on in the country right now, you know, it's in many places, it's not even, or in many circles, it's not safe to say that you might vote for Trump. So I'm sure they're not telling the pollsters. I'm sure they're not telling, I'm sure they're not telling their friends and neighbors. But, you know, as you look at what happened in Seattle, what happens in Portland, all the rioting going on around, and none of these mayors are doing shit about it. And I'm thinking to myself, would you tell the general public that you're voting for Trump right now? I don't think I would. Because, you know, people are assholes. People punch you in the mouth. Good morning, Boomer. Thank you, CNN Sucks, the most redundant name on the internet. And good morning to you. So yeah, I'm not sure, but breaking news, my sources have informed me that a fully bearded, full of shit Jason Miller is the same guy as partially bearded, full of shit Jason Miller. Well, you know, the Trump haters are probably going to be hating today, right? Why is Jason Miller, a man who gave his mistress an abortion pill without her knowledge, back on CNN? Now, I've never heard that story. Someone named Resist President Dum Dum. Trump administration only hires the best people. The pro-life Trump administration hired Jason Miller's back, the guy who had an affair and then tried to slip his mistress an abortion pill without her knowing so she would abort the baby. And they call us baby killer. He is scum. I don't know. I'd never heard of this guy. Jason Miller's not a Trump advisor. Why are they calling him a Trump advisor? Trump campaign senior advisor Jason Miller. Okay, well, maybe he is. I don't know. So that's why he's trending. Nobody likes Jason Miller. I don't like Jason Miller. I think he's an asshole. Anyway, Selma's trending because of the passing of John Lewis. Seven Nation Army, that would be some K-pop stuff. And I don't think Patrice is here, so we're not clicking it. PSP, Saturday Thoughts. Where is the... Okay. There was one in particular that I wanted to highlight, and it was something about my statement. So here's what I'm going to do. My statement. Let's see if that shows up. There we go. It was trending early this morning, but so many of the John Lewis ones have been combined. So I wanted to read a couple of statements. Oh my God. Barack Obama, when I was elected president of the United States, I hugged him on the inauguration stand before I was sworn in and told him I was only there because of the sacrifices he made. Yeah, and lots of lots of corporate money. Anyway, Brooklyn Dad, defiant Donald Trump. My statement: Donald Trump paid more tribute to a can of beans than he did to Representative John Lewis. Yeah, I don't know. I haven't seen Trump's statement yet. Statement by former President Joe Biden. We are made in the image of God, and there is John Lewis. A lot of people are passing on the statement by Barack Obama. Here's Paul Ryan, the Republican. There was a power that radiated from John Lewis throughout the halls of the House. Sometimes it was thunderous. Most of the times he was quiet. But it was always there. It was a power that came from righteousness, tenderness, and moral clarity. Most people come to Congress to be a small part of our country's journey. John Lewis arrived with the scars of having already written history. From his youth until his final days, he never stopped seeking to enlighten others and drive America to a more perfect union. There's more to that statement. You can find that. Barack Obama, John's life is exceptional, but he never believed that what he did was more than any citizen might do. He believed that in all of us there exists a capacity for great courage, a longing to do what's right, and a willingness to love all. Oh, good God. People are shitting on Mitch McConnell for making a statement, but I wanted particularly to read his statement because here it is, because people were trashing him for it. But let's check it out. I will never forget joining hands with John Lewis as members of Congress saying, "We shall overcome" at a 2008 ceremony honoring his friend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. It could not have been more humbling to consider what he had suffered and sacrificed so those words could be sung in that place. That was just part of his letter here. The Senate and the nation will mourn the loss of Congressman John Lewis, a pioneering civil rights leader who put his life on the line to fight racism, promote equal rights, and bring our nation into greater alignment with its founding principles. Congressman Lewis' place among the giants of American history was secure before his career in Congress had even begun. The son of sharecroppers in segregated Alabama helped to found and lead the mid-century civil rights movement. As a student in Nashville, John organized groundbreaking sit-ins at lunch counters. He was one of 13 original Freedom Riders assaulted and arrested for insisting on integrated bus travel, and as a chairman of the Student Nonviolent Coordinating Committee, John helped lead and organize the entire march on Washington at age 23 and addressed the massive assembly. John risked everything. He endured hatred and violence, but he kept working because he was convinced that our nation had to be better. Lots of people trashing. The Twitter mobs are trashing any Republican who says anything about John Lewis, which, boy, I don't know if that promotes any racial unity, but whatever. This person, in fact, first person to respond to McConnell. If you supported a racist president, then you are racist and accomplice as well. You are exactly what John Lewis fought against. Action speaks louder than words. My statement is hollow. Well, and then right here, my statement on Mitch McConnell. Go fuck yourself, Mitch McConnell. Well, you know what? Mitch McConnell didn't have to say shit. But he did because he respected John Lewis, despite the fact that they had different politics. P-Dog sounds tired. No, I'm just being melancholy today. I'm just kind of, whatever. Anyway, and then, of course, the picture of McConnell in front of a Confederate flag when it was still okay to take a picture in front of a Confederate flag and be part of the South, whatever. Amy Klobuchar, lots of people making statements. So, Eric Holder, our country has lost, perhaps at the worst possible moment, a civil rights icon and moral leader. We must protect what John Lewis made his life's work, the right to vote. Yeah, I don't see any danger of losing the right to vote. But you know what? You put up enough black and white pictures and pretend that you do, you get people to believe that shit. It's not happening. Sorry. God, there's some things that just aren't going back, but you are trying so hard to act like there has been no progress since they beat up John Lewis on that bridge. It's insanity. A powerful statement from Ed Lee, an Alabama Republican. Of course, Bill Kristol. On his worst day, Biden is better than Trump. Okay, that has nothing to do with John Lewis. I don't even know why that ended up here. Okay, so anyway. Let's see what else is. If there's anything else trending that's happening right now. I think John Lewis is the only news. Oh, no, this one. So, this is world news. A major fire has ripped through the historic cathedral in Nantes, France. Firefighters tackling a blaze in the 15th century St. Peter and St. Paul's Cathedral have said the fire is now contained. It is thought to be on the scale with the severe damage caused at Notre Dame in 2019. The fires caused severe damage to the cathedral's historic organ. So there's some pictures of the fire. There's pictures of them, fighting the fire. Nantes Cathedral is on fire. French media report firefighters are trying to control the blaze, said to have started about 7:30 11:30 a.m. Cause unknown. Photos show smoke billowing from the cathedral in western France. Last year, a huge fire devastated Notre Dame. So I have a question about this fire in France. The historic cathedral, right? Has anybody seen Sean King? Anybody? Do we need to be seeing what's on Sean King's travel itinerary? Just curious. All right, let's finish up here. Portland kidnappings. Oh, did you see this shit? Okay, so they're saying that there are these Portland kidnappings, that these federal agents are kidnapping people. And here's someone, the acting DHS secretary and the acting deputy secretary, Ken Cuccinelli, are deploying federal stormtroopers. Stormtroopers. That's blood libel. Stormtroopers to American streets because of graffiti. This is the Daily Edge, just some lame publication. Republicans allowed Trump and Barr to nationalize the Gestapo. We are doomed. Now, let's voice of reason. Everyone should be concerned with what's taking place in Portland. The Orange Goon has assembled his personal goon squad to trample on our rights to assemble and protest. No, he hasn't. So, you know what's happening in Portland, right? The federal courthouse and federal government building in Portland have been attacked. The rioters, protesters, whatever you want to call them, they're not protesters. These are not protesters. These are people who tried to set the building on fire. These are the people who tried to break into both of these facilities. These are the people who've been surrounding the building and trying to prevent people from entering and exiting the building. And so the federal agents who are part of that building have been protecting the building. Yes, after 50 days of riots. Okay. Now, they also have done graffiti. They also have attacked people around that area. But this isn't a protest. Oh my God. And they're just saying that. So these guys, there are no secret police, okay? They're federal agents who, in theory, arrested some people, right? Well, oh gosh, here's Brian Krasenstein, or his uglier twin brother, tweeting under the name of one of their wives, says, if one of Trump's federal agents in Portland refuses to identify which law enforcement agency they are with or provide their name and a citizen feels threatened enough to pull out a gun and shoot them, what would happen? This is dangerous. So I want to find that. I don't know where the video of that is that you're saying. Now, what's fascinating? Police, okay. Now this is Portland police doing this. Police kidnap another person and throw her in an unmarked vehicle while telling her friends not to follow them or they will be shot. So let's see this little clip here.
No, she did not.
We watch her.
She put her hand up. She put her hand up.
I'm right here.
She's gonna come with us.
Don't hurt her. No, don't hurt her.
Hey,
Don't
she's
hurt
getting
her.
hurt.
Okay, wait. Why are you putting the flashlight in her face like this?
Yo, what the fuck?
This
is an unmarked car. Who is this? Who are you?
You follow us, you will get shot. You understand me?
What is happening?
Where's she going?
I think what they're doing.
Where are you taking her?
Where? You have to tell us where you're taking her.
They don't have to tell you shit.
Where are you going? Help us! Help us! Who is this? Who the fuck?
I'm not really convinced that these are real. I don't know. It just feels like an op. You know? Now, here's the same people who bitch about wearing a mask are the ones who don't care about people in Portland being kidnapped. Their rights are actually being violated. How so? These are Portland. Now this is Portland police. This is Ted Wheeler's guys. Those are Portland police. Those are not federal agents. They want so bad. Okay. Jeez, I remember walking down the street when I was in Portland. It's crazy. This is downtown. Okay, so they're removing the protesters and rioters and breaking shit from the street. Those are Portland police, though. These are not these are not the federal police. Okay, so that's that. Let's see here. The one in particular, though, was this, and they're breaking shit everywhere. So many at a press conference today. Portland Mayor Ted Wheeler blames Donald Trump and the DHS for the Antifa riots in Portland. Really, motherfucker. It's Donald Trump and the Fed's fault for the riots in Portland. Let's listen to this jackass.
And actions from President Trump and the Department of Homeland Security have shown that this is an attack on our democracy. I stand with our senators, representatives, and our state, county, and city leaders in denouncing their presence. Over the past week,
maybe those
President
assholes
Trump has used our city as a staging ground to further his political agenda, igniting his base to cause further divisiveness, and in doing so, endangering Portlanders. President Trump has gone so far as vowing that federal law enforcement will, quote, dominate, unquote, protesters and mobilize federal agencies to operate in cities. This is an explicit abuse of power and places federal officers and Oregonians in danger. Mr. President, federal agencies should never be used as your own personal army. Let's be clear. This is not political.
Let's be clear. It's not Trump's personal army. And right now, it's the Portland police who are chasing people down the street. Those weren't federal agents. The federal agents protecting their building are not the same as the Portland police. You know the difference in the uniform. So this kind of gave Ted Wheeler free reign. Just one little incident. I wanted the picture of the guy being taken from the street, though, because that's a weird one. But so those aren't federal agents right now. But all the pictures are saying this is Trump's fault. Those are your own police, Ted Wheeler. And in fact, in Portland, the mayor is also the head of the police department.
Theater. This is far more dangerous than that. We have federal officers on our streets further escalating tensions and causing harm to Portlanders right now. Mr. President,
what about the Portlanders trashing downtown? Those Portlanders, those so-called protesters? What are you talking about?
President, we see right through you. We see what you're doing. So
look. Also, Portland is one city in the Pacific Northwest. It's not the only city where there's protests. It's not the only city where there's mayhem. It's not the only city that's right. Did you see any federal agents in Chicago yesterday and all that mayhem? Not a single federal agent, right? Why? Because the protesters and or rioters didn't attack a federal building. In Portland, they specifically attacked a federal courthouse and a federal building. And since the police were told to stand down as far as the federal property, when you attack federal property, that's when the federal agents come out. The feds come out at night. The feds come out at night. The feds come out at night. The feds come out at night.
It's a favor. Keep your troops in your own buildings
Hey.
or have them leave our city.
Tell your
My
Portlanders
question
to
is
stop
for the mayor.
fucking with those
The
buildings.
federal government says that they wouldn't have come into the city if city leaders had gotten a handle on the riots. What's your plan to get a handle on the violence? And you say that we can handle it better than the feds can, but we haven't heard or seen a plan to stop vandalism or the riots even prior to the federal government or federal officers getting into town.
They've done shit.
And what we saw was the numbers were dwindling, the energy in the crowd was decreasing, and people were moving elsewhere to do other things.
That's a complete and utter lie. Portland police moved them from one location. So then all those rioters decide, oh, that's fine. We'll just go downtown and take over Pioneer Square, which is where the federal courthouse and the federal building are. And they started attacking those buildings. What a lie. What a complete and utter lie. They weren't obvious. And you can see the Portland police there clear the streets in that last video. Those Portland police, not the federal police, but the Portland police. Yeah, right.
Then the feds came in on the heels of some really inflammatory public messaging coming out of Washington, D.C. from the president directly.
Is that what it was?
As well as the Department
they
of
didn't coincide, though. Oh, thank you. I have a new top donor of the day, or the first donor of the day, and that would be from Midnight. Thank you very much with the $5. Who says, which has Wheeler taken more of? Chinese money or teenage boys? Wow, that's harsh. That's harsh. Thank you. Thank you very much, Midnight. First super chat of the day and the number one super chat of the day. I decided to put that up in the corners of who the top donor of the day is because it's hard to keep up. It's hard for me to keep up during donor wars. So now it's up in the top of the stream. Thank you so much. Also, good morning to Kiever Dam, Gamer Valine, Black. I said I had Black Hebrew Israelite, Michael Hatfield, welcome, and Avocados Diabli. There's a whole bunch of people I missed that have come in since I was rambling. Your boy Pat. What's up, Pat? What's up, my brother? Okay, so there we go. I'm enough of Ted Wheeler. He's an asshole. I wish I could find that stupid video of the one person supposedly getting kidnapped. MSN. Oh my gosh. Let's see. Now MSNBC interviews the Oregon governor. This is going to be good. What does he say? Interviews the Oregon governor and tells her why he would resist detainment by the secret police in Portland. Well, hold on a second. Are these police really a secret? They have uniforms on. They say police right across the front. I don't know that they're so secret. MSNBC anchor Chris Hayes, who's I was going to say he's just Rachel Maddow with different glasses. But anyway, on Friday, interviewed Oregon Governor Kate Brown about the federal secret police that President Donald Trump's Department of Homeland Security has deployed. See, they want to make it look like Trump sent these guys personally. I don't think so. The Chiron read federal agents with no identifying insignia pulled Portland protesters into unmarked vans. Dude, I want the video of them pulling the one dude in the unmarked van because there's a lot of problems with it. Steve Schmidt goes on F. Grant and demands Oregon governor arrest Trump's secret police in Portland. You mean the federal agent? What? Oh my God, these people are nuts. They want this so bad to be true. Like I said, this is one of those. Remember when we saw the video the other day and I said, this is a 5-day rule. This is absolutely a 5-day rule situation. Because something's going to come out about that. Does anyone have a clip of that? Here it is right here. Good timing. There it is. This is the one I want to show you. This is the... This was the...
What are you doing?
This was the first incident that they called out. Hang on a second. Let's put it... What the hell? How'd that happen? What the hell happened there? What the hell? That is not it. Okay, this one right here. Let's I want to full screen this. I did not even hit F11. What the hell happened? There we go. Okay, here is this. I'm going to open this up.
What are you doing?
I haven't done anything wrong.
Use your words.
Let's pause this for a second. All right. This is the video where they supposedly secret police came and kidnapped this guy, right? Listen, now watch.
What
So
are you
here
doing?
they come.
Use
Notice,
your words. What are you doing?
Notice, first of all, as they walk towards these protesters, they have a very specific person chosen, right? It's not like there's anything going on, right? Watch what happens. They go right past. They go right past. Where's your words, protester? The person next to her, and go to this person. Now, this person. Notice this person isn't running, isn't resisting whatsoever.
What are you doing?
I haven't done anything
Here,
wrong.
Use your words.
Then they go, supposedly, now look, they're taking this person away. This person, and Monkey mentioned this morning. I noticed, I didn't notice this before. So usually when the protesters, the black bloc people dress, they have a very specific uniform, right? And they don't have anything that will identify them. And yet this person has this big old white logo on the front of their shirt. So you can easily tell which person you're singling out, right? Kind of weird, right? And then also, look, this person just goes, oh, so peacefully. Doesn't sit down, doesn't resist, doesn't run away like most of the black bloc people would do if they were being arrested. This person just gently puts their hands behind their back. And notice, they put the hands behind the back, but they don't cuff this person. This person doesn't even say anything to him. In fact, they didn't even say anything to him. I'm going to go back a little bit. Notice that the person being arrested isn't talking at all. Look.
Use your words.
Oh, put your hands behind your back. No cuffs.
What is going on?
And they just walk
Who
off
are
with them.
you?
Look, not even restrained. One hand here. One here and one hand here. Thank you. Second and new top super chat of the day from Gabriel Valine with the 556. Did you notice I put a new alert on there? Did that show up? Let's see a second. I'm going to replay the alert. I thought maybe Gabriel Valine would be able to appreciate that, being a gun gal. I changed my 357, 223, and 556 all to be gun related. Anyway, thank you, Gabriel Valine, for the 556. This is that 90s feel-good parenting. My nephew acted violent until he lived with me. Now he's now 20, works, hangs out with his buddies, and goes fishing. Tell me punishment doesn't work. Boots to asses. Yes, I agree. In fact, that even's worth a little audience participation. Thank you, Gabriel Valine. So, no handcuffs. Just gently put the arms behind there. The person goes without any resistance whatsoever, and then they just walk to the van.
NLG will get you out. What's your name? Tell us your name.
Okay, now the what's your name person? They're talking to the person. They're saying, we're going to get you out. Just tell us your name so we can come bail you out. But they don't know where they're going. But notice, no cuffs, just hands behind the arms. That's not even an arrest. This is an extraction. Look at this.
What's your name?
Just
Okay, you're fine. We'll get you
see,
out.
nothing. No, just arms behind the back.
We got you, friend.
And they're going into an unmarked van. Now, notice too, that person is just so cooperative getting in the van. They don't even try to not get in the van. Are you kidding me? This is not an arrest.
You just violated their rights.
Really? They went along willingly, without even a fuss, without even complaining one time. Completely. Yes, complied 100%. This is not real. This is not real. This is notice how they've been, in a lot of these cities, they've been arresting a bunch of people who've been involved in mayhem. How do you think they found out specifically which of those people were involved in the mayhem. I think they might have some plants in the audience.
Oh.
And there they go, driving away.
You just violated their rights.
Thanks for keeping them fucking. Oh.
Now, so I have two scenarios here. One, that's a federal plant. Oh, thank you, Johnny Hellcat, with the $5.99 super chat and the new top donor of the day. All hail the boots to ass technique. Yes, and that's definitely a good one too. In fact, you get a horn for that one. I think it's either a plant or these are either that's a fake protester, or these are fake police who wanted to start a protest meme, or excuse me, a kidnapping meme. So anyway, but it gives them a chance to call Trump a fascist. Nationwide mass kidnapping. Now it's not just Portland though. Maya Wiley, who is NBC News, says nationwide mass kidnapping of protesters thrown into unmarked vans. This is Trump's America. Let's not allow it to be ours. This is someone from NBC News, MSNBC legal analyst. Do you see where this is going, folks? They wanted so hard for Trump to react to all this bullshit. And Trump has done well in resisting that, no pun intended. But now they've got their fascist actions that they've been waiting for. I still say that's an extraction. That's an informant. That's a plant in the Antifa ranks who has been getting names, taking down numbers. There's going to be some real arrests soon. That wasn't it. All right. Let's go back. If there's anything else, I'll check to see if there's anything else here that I want to touch on. Nope, that's it. Oh, the hashtag activists are out. You know what's funny? So these anti-Trump hashtags trend every day, right at around 28, 29, or 30. Every day. Now, do you really think that these are trending every day? It's always different. It's always different. This one's the Trump is a laughingstock. Now, it's possible that the hashtag activists have that much power, but I think this is more Twitter manipulation. Because every day, it's either 28, 29, or 30. You know that they can decide what's going to be trending on Twitter, right? And they do. And that's what it is. So, anyway, I think that's it for today, folks, because I do have some work to do today, and got to get this condo sold, and so I got to put a smoke detector in and do some other work. But you know what? I appreciate you all being here today and just popping in on my impromptu stream. I normally stream Monday through Friday, 10 o'clock Eastern, 9 o'clock Central, 1500 GMT this time of year. And if you would be so kind, hit the share button below, hit the like button on your way out. And thank you for the people who donated today. If you ever want to donate to the stream, that's in the Streamlabs link down below. I do have one last thing to show you before we go, though, because I've been talking about doing this, and I just ordered one of these items myself. I have merch now. My first merch, the link is in the description down below. But I've been saying, and this is very simple merch, a couple t-shirts, a coffee cup, and a hat. It's the 2020 FFS collection that you can find on my Streamlabs page at pdognight.live. You just click the link, and then you click there's a little merch link up in the top of the page, and comes there. There's the 4 items. The first 4 items. The first 4 items of merch. If you want to get a FFS cup, because I'm going to get mine pretty soon. Like I said, I just ordered my own. And so there you go. I think it perfectly encapsulates what 2020 is all about. So anyway, like I said, I'll be here on Monday for sure. I got some videos coming out hopefully in the next couple days that I'm working on. Thank you for being here at the well, it's not Morning Night Live, it's Saturday Night Live. Thank you for joining me on this impromptu special edition of Saturday Night Live. My name is P-Dog Knight, and I'm out of here. Bye bye. Hey, this is P-Dog Knight, and thank you for watching today on the P-Dog Knight channel. If you have an observation or remark you'd like to make about this video or my channel, I absolutely welcome you to write it in the comment section down below. I really look forward to hearing from you. And before you go, if you like what you saw but you're not already subscribed, please make sure you hit the subscribe button and definitely click that bell that pops up afterward so you'll be notified when I post new videos or when we go live. I broadcast my live show, The Morning Night Live, Monday through Friday at 10 a.m. Eastern, 9 o'clock Central. A special thank you to all supporters of this channel who share our videos on social media and who make donations through the Streamlabs link, which is also in the description down below. Thanks again, and until next time, I'm P-Dog Knight, and I'm out of here.